The aim of this video is to teach you how to modify a list of options in your WASH KAP global form, as well as to make you understand the impact that it can have in your analysis tools.
So for example, here we have the question on the list of camps. Obviously, we don't want to keep AAA, BBB, CCC. We're going to want to adapt this. So if you open the WASH KAP mobile template, in the survey tab, you'll see, for example, that here you have the variable that corresponds to the camp name. And in the type column, it tells you that it goes to select a list of options called camp. So this means that in the choices tab, the list name called camp that we see here is what shows up on the mobile. So here we see both the label, which corresponds to what will be shown on the screen to the enumerator, and the name, which is what will be captured in the database, and therefore won't be language specific, as you could have as many labels as you wish. Now, if you already had your list of camps, like is the case, for example, for Bangladesh, we have our list with both our names and our labels, we could actually integrate it directly in here. So in the default version here, we have four different camps. So let me just add a number of blank lines here. And I'm just going to come and take my list from here and replace it here in my tab. In this particular context, let's imagine that we don't need, anyway, another language than English. And I just need to make sure that this camp list name is visible for all of the different camps that are listed here. And I can reformat the same color just so that I keep in mind that this has been changed. There we go. And it's always better to remove any blank lines to avoid misunderstandings by the tools. And this means that in the mobile, I will be able to actually view the list of camps.
So that
in the analysis tools, I will be able to have that information. So both here, when I'm visualizing my key indicators, if I import twice my data set, I can decide to compare the overall population with just one specific camp. So here I see that this particular camp, Camp C5, has better defecating in toilets, but less average liter per person per day, etc., which gives interesting insights into the data. It also means that if I look at the other analysis tabs, I can have the data disaggregated by camp. While if I just helped people with a text to specify the camp, I wouldn't be able to have such a structured approach. So it's really the two interesting sides of having the lists of options clearly spelled out. Now, if I go back to my template, maybe just to wrap up and be very clear that for all of the variables that are here in bold, in black and bold, that are list of options, like the source of water, etc., these lists of options should not be modified, because otherwise the calculations of the key indicators will be biased. So if I just look at the source of water here and filter, so here, for example, the indicators are really calculated based on the data in here. So if you want, you can change like the label a little bit if there are things that you find not clear enough, if perhaps hand pumps or boreholes aren't explicitly called that way, because otherwise the calculation of the indicator that is explained here, if you need to understand it better, in the indicator definition tab, will be falsely calculated, and you won't have adequate figures here in your key indicators. As a summary, this video helped you understand how to modify the list of options that you need to, while making sure at the same time that you don't create issues in the way the key indicators are calculated.